fans, Green Mountain Wrestling has returned to the Barrie Elks Lodge in Barrie, Vermont for our third installment of our annual celebration of St. Patrick's Day. It's Shamrocks and Headlocks 2026, just days away from the day of celebration. My name is Peter DeLonge. Thanks so much for joining us right here. Coming down to the ring to start the event off, two men who have been very loud and very insistent online in the past few days on their intentions here at Green Mountain Wrestling and what they expect out of this matchup. The Swords of Damocles face the Ultimate Powers for the third time. They are 0-2 so far. However, they believe that this is the third time's a charm kind of situation, which we will find out momentarily. But they have also said that when the Tag Team Championships arrive at Green Mountain Wrestling, they will be the reigning, defending, and all-time Tag Team Champions here. I mean, time will show if that's an accurate statement, but they are very confident. But first, they have to get past these two men tonight. The last time we saw Jobz and Mullet Man here, the Ultimate Powers, they were giving the Memory Museum their final loss as their defeat resulted in the dissolution of the team. They will never team in Green Mountain Wrestling again. Joe Cruel and Abed Arones must go their separate ways. Thanks to Mullet Man and Jobz. Will we see something similar here? Not with the stipulation, but perhaps they'll be able to humiliate MKK and Derrick Conway so badly that they'll say, that's it, we never want to team up here at Green Mountain Wrestling again. I'm so embarrassed. Jobz and Mullet Man have a way of doing that to their opponent, demoralizing them, as they are fan favorites through and through, and the Barrie Elks Lodge in Barrie, Vermont will always echo with cheers for the Ultimate Powers. But before we go any further, let's kick it over to Tony Morse for the opening announcement.
Our opening contest is a tag team match scheduled for one fall. Introducing first, in the corner to my right, hailing from Coventry, Vermont. And weighing in at 420 pounds, the big top, Mullet Man and Jobz.
They don't call him Big Toad for nothing. He doesn't need a microphone.
Maybe.
Sir Barnes, I like how you want me to do it. Their opponent with a combined bounty of 1 million berries. He is the Grand Master of Canada of Arms. I am fearless over all MKK, Derrick Conway, the Swords of
There's a lot of inside references there that I don't get, admittedly so.
Test it. No.
You're referee for this contest. Steve Nova.
Steve Nova officiating the matchup. About to start off our event here, celebrating St. Patrick's Day, as we like to do here. Our first event in 2024 for Shamrocks and Headlocks was right on St. Patrick's Day. A lot of great stuff went down in that event. Since then, we've been coming back every year, doing it over again. And here we are, third year in a row. My pleasure to be on the call, as usual. Here we go. Derrick Conway. Jobz locking up. Jobz backs him up to the ropes. Clean break. Gotta wonder if it was the other way around. If Conway backed Jobz up to the ropes, would it be as clean a break? Somehow I doubt it. It's just my opinion, man. I guess we're gonna find out. I'd be happy to be wrong. See, not quite as clean. Not quite as clean. I'll go middling. So to middling on that. fingers here now. Conway playing.
Right.
Don't listen to these idiots.
Right.
Too much sugar cereal.
Wow. Okay. Conway, focused right now. MKK talking trash with the crowd members, and Conway telling him to keep his head in the game. Very interesting variation of the top wrist lock here. Jobz able to reverse it, get into a headlock there. And it's easy to understand who the crowd here is behind in this matchup. Conway breaking free. Into a wrist lock now. Wrist control. Twist in the arm, the shoulder, the elbow. Jobz rolls through, back up. Reverses the wrist hold. Jobz now in control. Conway trying to break it up.
You know what? You can do that, I can do that.
Keeping his composure. Conway tries to outdo Jobz, but Jobz saw it coming. That is number on that one. Back into the headlock position now. And backed up into the wrong corner, Conway is. Mullet Man officially tagged into this matchup. A little bit of a double team before Jobz exits the ring. 1 count. Conway getting that shoulder up pretty quick. Pushes the Mullet Maniac away, and now MKK comes in. Goes for the shot, but Mullet Man blocks it. Does it twice. Catches it, sends another one into him. MKK off the ropes now. Reversal by MKK. Mullet Man coming in. Leapfrog, no, goes for a sunset flip. MKK holds on and punches the mat. Misses wildly with that clothesline. Luthez press on the MKK. And Mullet Man feeling it here at the Barry Elks Lodge. Face first into that top turnbuckle. As I said earlier, the Ultimate Power's coming off a big win the last time we were here at our last event, defeating the Memory Museum and breaking them up for good. Wants to continue riding that wave of momentum. They, as well as many members of the crowd, see themselves as the top tag team in Green Mountain Wrestling. And that poses a perfect opportunity for the Swords of Damocles. Regardless of their win-loss record against the Ultimate Powers, a win here tonight would basically wipe those 2 losses from everyone's memories. You're only as good as your last win. And this would cement them as a top faction in Green Mountain Wrestling. Squeezing the life out of Mullet Man right now. Nasty hold, lifting the one shoulder, bringing the other down, twisting the neck in a bad position. He's got a handful of hair. Referee Steve Nova doesn't see it. And now he's choking him. Choking him with the other hand. MKK's a piece of work, I'll tell you that. Steve finally figures it out. Requires him to relinquish the hold. Mullet Man gets out for a breather, literally, and in comes Jobz. Off the ropes now, here comes MKK. Drop toe hold. Drops the elbow, does Mullet Man. Jobz rolls him over, goes to the pin. And Conway comes in and takes him off. I don't think he needed to. I think MKK had the shoulder up. But Conway in for good measure. Scoop chops up, slams him down. Swords of Damocles in control here now. As Conway tags himself in. Over the ropes. Nice senton. Goes for the cover now. And the look of intensity on the face of Derrick Conway, staring down Steve Nova as he counted, as if to make sure that he was doing his job right. And now, while Mullet Man is required to be backed up into his corner, Conway and MKK put the double team on Jobz in their corner. While Steve Nova was distracted on the other side. Tell you what, Swords of Damocles came here with a plan and they are executing it near perfectly. Once again, Mullet Man letting his emotions get the better of him, trying to get over there. And Conway and MKK taking full advantage of the situation.
Good job, bro.
No do-si-do. A shot to the midsection brings Jobz down. Mullet Man breaks it up.
What are you gonna do? Disqualify me! Disqualify me! Tag!
Did they even really tag there? I've never seen such a thing where they just clap and make the sound of a tag and switch places. It's awful. Kidding, I see it all the time. Are the biggest jerks in the industry. Jobz in a bad position here. Conway and MKK have placed a target on the man here to do work. They're picking him apart. A boot up on the chest, keeping Jobz from going anywhere, keeping him in enemy territory. Tag now, Conway back in. And Conway clearly not doing his homework. Watched a few seconds of Jobz' work knows that this is the wrong approach. You send Jobz his way, you're just hyping him up. He channels all that pain, all that anguish into pure rage and sends it right back to you. Chop therapy is in session. MKK sized him up, waited for the right opportunity, and took him down with a hell of a lariat. The crowd chanting for Jobz, but he's got a ways to go, and a fresh MKK to get past. 2 count only. Jobz still in there, and MKK is beside himself. Well, we know from experience Jobz is no pushover. Sends him over, tries to bring him down hard, but Jobz lands on his feet, going for the Jobz NATO. He's got it in. Round and round he goes. MKK never saw it coming. Can't even stand on his feet. Jobz needs to get to Mullet Man. Both men down in the middle of the ring. The equilibrium shattered on both men here. Like coming home at 2 o'clock in the morning from a kegger with a room full of cheap kegs of Natty Light. MKK tags in Derrick Conway, and now here comes Mullet Man. Mullet Man takes Conway down twice. Kick to the midsection. Mullet cutter. Goes for the cover now. MKK misses with the clothesline. Oh! Jobz pulls the top rope down. MKK lands hard on the outside. But Conway to the midsection and Mullet Man. Mullet Man reversal off the ropes. Big boot up to Conway. Leg drop. Goes for the cover. This could be it. And that's it. The Ultimate Powers are 3-0 over the Swords of Damocles. quite well with it for a time. But just like so many other teams in Green Mountain Wrestling and beyond, the Ultimate Powers eventually get their way and get their hands raised at the end of the match. Mullet Man and Jobz putting in a heck of a performance here to open up the event. Our third annual Shamrocks and Headlocks. Wait a minute! Swords of Damocles attacking the Ultimate Powers after the bell is rung. Sore losers here. The crowd not happy. Can't accept that they have gone 0-3 against the Ultimate Powers. What are they doing here? Nasty double team maneuver on Jobz. Mullet Man running him out of there, saving his partner, but not quite soon enough. Jobz took a heck of an impact there. He might be out. That double team maneuver, I gotta find out what they call that. The forearm shiver to the back of the neck, followed up with that tombstone pile driver.
This isn't over. Not by a long shot.
They may not have won this battle, but they won the one afterwards. And the war is just heating up apparently with the Swords of Damocles and the Ultimate Powers. Jobz still not moving. Referee Adam Brunton out there to help out. Regardless of that, folks, don't go anywhere. We've got plenty more action to come here. We're just getting started here at Shamrocks and Headlocks 2026. We've got big returns, big debuts, and crazy four-way tag team match scrambles. Don't go far. Shamrocks and Headlocks 2026 continues on.